striking stamina. The New York Times is facing ridicule, as it should, on Twitter after an article described President Biden as sharp and fit after the president fell on the stage at the Air Force Academy graduation ceremony. So, to not overtire our aging president, Biden's handlers are reportedly leaving him alone as often as they can on weekends and only scheduling public events or between 12 and 4 p.m. Sounds like nice work if you can get it. In about 15 minutes, Elon Musk is set to host a discussion on Twitter Spaces with Democrat presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in response to the DNC refusing to hold primary debates. We have Fox Across America host Jimmy Failla here with us. Jimmy,
there he is.
This article is hilarious, and it's so funny as just how the coverage has changed in the last few weeks. Like, the manufactured panic over Biden's age was one opinion piece, and then how much do voters really care about Biden's age? And now they're trying to thread this needle with this donkey.
They're doing it's called a Billy Madison. In the movie Billy Madison, Adam Sandler's with a little boy on a school trip who wets his pants, and he doesn't want the kid to be embarrassed, so he says he wets his pants too. So that's what they're doing to Biden right now. They're like, oh, I forget what planet I'm on too. Isn't it cool, kids? Come on. Listen, according to the polls, voters do care. I mean, if you look at the if you look at the 2024 polls, I would say over 70% of voters want him to step aside for someone younger, like Moses. I don't know that that's an option right now. He's got other things going on. But it's embarrassing because they're trying to shield for the Democrat, no matter who it is. But in this case, it just looks especially egregious because we've seen so many public lapses. And I feel bad for the guy, you know. The only thing I would add to what you said about the Twitter Spaces and the RFK thing is they're scheduled to start in 15 minutes. But if history is any indication, it'll start in like 45.
Hey, don't knock that until give him one more chance.
Oh, absolutely. No problem. Listen, I wanted to go
hear from that? Actually, because I thought I liked that. So Jack Dorsey, after that sad video came out, said it's not fair. We need a democratic debate. He actually then endorsed RFK Jr., Elon Musk, who now, of course, owns Twitter because Jack Dorsey co-founded it and is no longer running it, or the CEO.
Sold it at that bargain basement price of $44 billion.
What do you want to hear?
I want more attention paid to the substantive side of the RFK platform, which is that right now we obviously deserve someone who's in better shape than Biden. But the issue with Biden is not the shape he's in, it's the shape the country's in. And I think RFK represents a more substantive platform for the Democrats, but I don't think they want to run in that direction. OK, the Democrats are still engaged in this revisionist history about COVID, that it worked, that they did things right, that they weren't shutting down schools. And RFK is kind of holding their feet to the fire on that, which is one of the reasons he won't get a debate. I mean, I think he would get a debate if he consented to giving Biden the answers on a note card, because that's what they're doing in press conferences. Nobody should be okay with that. Nobody should be okay with that.
You have Tim Scott on your program all the time. You've gotten to know him. He was just on The View today, obviously. An interesting interaction with the ladies.
Wait, what do you do?
Yeah, no, Tim Scott comes by a good amount. Yeah.
He hadn't been on our program at all.
Is that true?
Uh-oh.
No.
Well, this is not the can of worms I wanted to open up. That was not my question.
What's up with that?
Listen, say what you want about low-level bribery and extortion, but it works. I get the guy on.
Tim
No,
Scott, we're from the same basic, state.
Okay, we'll work it out.
The whole South is one state.
The same basic state.
The same basic state.
What do you think about him on The View?
I think he deserves hazard pay for going, but I love the idea of the crosstalk. I love the idea of Republicans taking their message anywhere that it'll be received, because I think the substantive battle favors us. I think the substantive battle favors us. That being said, what I love about Tim Scott specifically going to The View is that he is speaking to the reality in our country in 2023, as opposed to this reality they're trying to sell the black community that it's 1823. Okay, Tim Scott accomplished all he did in this country as the first black American to serve in both houses of Congress at a time when, if we're supposedly oppressed now, what were we in the 80s and 90s, you know? So the fact that he wants to speak to victorhood, as we say, over victimhood, I think is a winning message. And I don't think The View knows how to combat that. You know, because in their worldview, you're going to the plate with two strikes against you as a black American, when guys like Tim Scott, guys like Sonny Hosted and Whoopi Goldberg are proof that that's not the case. How do you call him the exception if 40% of your panel happens to be black and rich?
And Behar didn't show up, of course.
Oh, joy. She's
but But he talks about the things that do need to be fixed.
Of course.
He talks about getting
on my show,
pulled
not on
over.
yours, on my show. I love you. I'm kidding. But no, I'm kidding. I'm being silly. He does. Of course he does. Because this is the truth.
Getting pulled over out near the Capitol.
This is the one thing I can tell you. As a guy who drove a taxi a long time and goes on the road and does stand-up every weekend, I talk to people from every socioeconomic background known to man. And the truth is you can't, when it comes to policies, okay, you're not supposed to treat us like, white people or black people or Asian people. You're supposed to treat us like people. We all have the same needs, okay? We need to make money. We want to keep our family safe, okay? That's what we want. That's not unique to any specific race. So the scam of identity politics is it makes a lot of pie-in-the-sky promises at an expense of people who always get the bill when it goes wrong, okay? Every woke thing that was trotted out in summer 2020 hurt the black community. And the people like us speaking out against it, in hindsight, we were on their side then, but now everyone knows it now. Scam. I know. I got.
Jimmy Failla.
I was fired up today.
We're gonna work out all the booking issues off there.
Good luck.
We appreciate you being here.